good enough for you. It's good enough for me. It's good enough. Good enough for me. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. Killed it.
Good enough for me.
Who's number 43?
Troy Polamalu.
Let's go with it. I like it. Head and shoulders guy. Played for USC?
Yep.
One of the kids from Last Chance U, the basketball. I finished it, by the way. Amazing. The ending, shocking. And I mean, shocking. I don't want to give away spoilers, but it shocked me so bad. But one of the kids went to USC, so we're gonna move. If USC's in the tournament, I don't know if they are or not.
They are.
We might be able to watch him. KJ Allen, beast. Okay.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Coffee and Contemplation. This is episode 43. Troy Polamalu.
Head and shoulders.
Head and shoulders. Crazy hair. One of the best safeties to ever play. I think he's in the Hall of Fame now. But yeah.
Yeah, isn't his son playing now too? Somewhere?
Something.
I think so.
Google it.
Google it and tell us.
I'm Cameron, and with me, as always, Brent Schaefer.
Hello. I'm surprised you got here, dude. It is apocalyptic outside.
Yeah. So, for all our listeners outside of Colorado, this was probably the heaviest snow that we've gotten since like 2005, 2004.
I think
like, probably
the year I moved here in 2006, there was like that big blizzard.
yeah.
And I don't even know if that was as much snow as far as inches as this was.
We got 4 feet in that blizzard.
Okay,
I
so it
remember
was.
that one.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as heavy.
Okay.
I went to shovel slash like sweep. No. Sweep the driveway, and I pushed it once, and the handle broke. And then we went to Walmart yesterday to clear it all off because we're like, we'll just wait till Monday morning when it's not snowing as much and probably easier to shovel.
Yeah.
Sold out. Went to Walmart and they were sold out. And I was like, if we get in trouble, I'm saying, you can look at my handle. It's broken.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I tried.
And then like get a handle on things, Cam.
But yeah.
Just real quick, I went to the grocery store on Saturday or Sunday, and it was literally like the world was ending. Like everything was like sold out, and I was like, "You people are being a little dramatic."
Mm-hmm.
Not really. Like there was a good 2 or 3 days we literally couldn't leave our houses.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say Sunday was definitely like a day you couldn't leave.
Yeah.
Did you ever lose power?
We never lost power, but our internet was cutting in and out a lot, and there was a lot of flickering.
Okay.
But it never like disconnected completely.
Yeah, we on Saturday and Sunday, all day Sunday, nothing was happening, like no flickering or nothing. Like Wi-Fi was fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sunday night around like 8:30, 9 o'clock, power went out. And we're like, okay, well, luckily we can just go to bed. Don't have to really worry about anything. So we just went to bed. Woke up still off. We woke up at around 8 or 9. Power was still out, so we're like, okay, we can't cook breakfast, so we went and got breakfast, and we're like, maybe by the time we get back it'll turn on. Still not on, and then around 10:30 turned back on.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That definitely has happened in Windsor before. There's that big generator kind of over by the wing shack. But I thought it was going to go out for sure. Never really did, at least not over here.
My grandma's power went out.
And where does she live?
She lives off of Garden.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's where Cody lives too, and they lost power for just a little bit, but only for like an hour or two.
Yeah,
maybe.
she said it was probably an hour or two.
Yeah. So I think we were just outside of that range.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it was crazy.
Yeah.
Hopefully that was the last little bit before spring and summer.
Well, that's how Colorado usually is. We get like 2 weeks right before spring like starts of beautiful weather, and then we get a snowstorm. Nothing like this.
Yeah, this is crazy.
And then we don't really get anything until winter rolls around again. So
it's ironic because right now technically I'm on spring break.
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. I'm on spring break too.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so
cool. Yeah, well it looks nice outside now. Well, not nice, but it looks cool. Like it looks like a winter wonderland.
Yeah, it does. It's crazy too how Colorado is. It's just it was nice yesterday. Like all the roads have no snow on them.
Yep, the sun was out and shining yesterday.
Was out.
Mm-hmm.
Got rid of most of the snow, and that's Colorado for you.
Yeah,
And
100%.
tomorrow it's supposed to be like 48 or something,
Nice.
almost 50 tomorrow.
I definitely like the snow being from California, but at this point in the year, we're in the middle of March. I want the snow to melt off as soon as possible and then just be gone until next winter.
Yeah.
Cool, Cam. Well, what are we talking about today, Cam?
Well, March Madness is officially about to start.
Yeah. We got robbed last year.
Didn't get that last year.
One of my favorite sporting events, for
some
sure.
conference tournaments did happen last year, but most conference tournaments got canceled.
Yep.
And
right before they were supposed to happen.
Yeah, the big dance definitely got canceled
Mm-hmm.
because that's right when everything was happening.
I don't know if you remember, but wasn't it right around, so today is what, the 16th?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wasn't this almost exactly a year ago that everything got canceled?
Yep.
It was like the 16th or 17th last year? Yeah. Crazy.
So on Sunday, March 14th, all 68 teams got announced because there's 64 teams, but they do a few playing games to decide who will play a certain seed. And out of those 68 teams, Colorado State University did not make it. They are the number one seed in the NIT, which is the National Invitational Tournament.
They've been in the NIT a couple of years in a row now, right?
They weren't last year. Well, obviously
Right.
not last year. But
Right.
they probably would have been in the NIT last year. But
Okay.
also there's another tournament that's one below the NIT. I can't remember what it's called, but that's what it looked like they were going to be in.
NIT, as we all know, stands for not in tournament.
Yeah. But they had 0 losses outside of a quad 2 loss. I don't know if you're familiar with quad 1, 2, or 3. So there's the net ranking, which is like the top. It's all teams ranked basically. And a quad 1 game is playing a team in the top 40 or top 50 on their home court. And if you win it, it's considered like a quad 1 win.
Is it related to divisions at all? Like D1, D2,
no,
D3? Okay.
No. And then a quad 2 is under 60, I think, for away, and then under 80 for home or something like that. And then quad 3 is 80 plus, and they had 0 losses in those quad 3 games. I think they had either 2 or 3 quad 1 wins because they beat San Diego State, who's number 19 in the country.
Get them.
On their home court. So that was a quad 1 win. Utah State was a quad 1 win because they beat them on their home court. And then I think it was either a quad 2 or a quad 1 win when they beat Boise State at home. So I think it was a quad 2.
Yeah.
But they had a very nice resume. It's just surprising that they didn't make it. But it also kind of makes sense because they were right on the bubble, and then there were teams that weren't supposed to win their conference tournaments who got automatic bids. So that kind of took the at-large bid from CSU because Oregon State won their first ever Pac-12 tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a bid steal, and Georgetown also won that conference tournament.
Yeah.
They were 12 and 13 on the year.
Oh, wow.
And they made it. So those two were big reasons why they didn't make it. So sucks that they're not in it. They are one of 4 teams as a replacement team if a team can't play due to COVID.
Yeah.
But all the teams that need replacements have to be announced by today. Virginia's the only one that's looking like they might need a replacement team, and CSU's the second team. So Louisville will probably get in before CSU.
So it's pretty unlikely.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. I really thought we were going to see him in the big dance this year.
I did too, especially after beating Fresno State to start out their conference tournament. But that loss to Utah State in the semifinals really hurt them. And of course the 2 teams that weren't supposed to be in it, getting those automatic bids really hurt as well.
Sure. Heartbreaking.
CU can suck it. They were supposed to beat them, and that would have definitely helped CSU's chances if they lost to Oregon State. So yeah.
Heartbreaking.
CU did beat USC though.
Did they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
USC's never really been known for their basketball. Yeah. I'm a big USC fan, University of Southern California, but more the football program than the basketball program, just because they're more of a football school for sure.
Definitely. That's what's fun about CSU and CU. is they're kind of both. They have years that their football team really dominates, and then they'll have years that their basketball team really dominates.
Yeah.
So we don't really ever root for one side of the spectrum, really. You just root for the school as a whole, which I'm sure
CU's men's team has won a couple national championships, right?
I think
in
they
basketball.
won one or two.
Yeah.
I know they won one when Chauncey Billups played for them.
Chauncey,
Yeah.
God,
And,
Chauncey's a beast.
And then they also won a football championship.
Yeah.
Back in,
Chauncey went on to play for the Nuggets too for a while.
Yep, and the Pistons.
Pistons, yep.
Well, started out with the Pistons and then came to the Nuggets.
Yeah. Dude's a baller.
Yeah. So let's just go through the bracket real quick.
Okay.
Go through the ones and the twos and everything like that.
Yeah.
So Gonzaga's the number 1 overall seed.
Always.
Not always.
They're always top 5 though.
They're definitely top 5.
Yeah, they're always really good.
So there's 4 total like number 1s in the bracket, but Gonzaga is like the number 1. Like they're the best team
Of the
according to
64.
the committee. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Michigan, Baylor, and Illinois are the other number 1 seeds.
So Illinois is kind of a sneaker.
Yeah. But they're really good this year.
Yeah. They're just not usually in that top even 10 or anything.
Yeah.
There's also a couple teams that have kind of slipped, like Duke and Kentucky aren't having the years they were kind of hoping for.
Yeah, this is the first year since 1976 that Duke and Kentucky aren't in the tournament.
That's so great. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
That's 20 years before we were even born.
Mm-hmm.
So 45 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Insane.
But yeah, Illinois was 22-6 on the year.
Okay.
They were 7-3 versus the top 25. So I can see why they're number 1. But they're probably the lowest number 1 out of all the number 1s.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan has been great this year, 20-4. 6-3 versus top 25. 6 in the BPI. So
cool.
So yeah. And then the play-in games are Wichita State and Drake for the 11 seed, who will play number 6 USC.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Number 6, that's pretty high.
Yeah.
They were in the tournament a couple years ago at like number 8 or 9, but lost their very first game.
Yeah.
On a terrible play. Meaning like they played terribly. Like they didn't even get robbed or anything. They had a chance to win and they literally threw the ball away out of bounds. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, that's about right for USC's basketball program. But I'll be rooting for them. Hopefully they go deep.
Mm-hmm. And then another playing game is, I can't tell what SMSM is, but they're playing Texas Southern.
Oh, nice.
For the 16 seed, who will play number 1 Michigan.
So this episode goes live on Wednesday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day.
Yep.
And then the tournament starts Friday, March 19th. Yep, just so you guys know if you want to watch it. ESPN's fun to watch it on because you can watch it on their website, and they have a button called the boss button. So you can have a bunch of screens open, and if you click the boss button, it opens like an Excel spreadsheet to make it look like you're working. And it's like automatic like that. I used to use that all the time in school.
Nice.
Yeah, the boss button. So if you want to get away with some stuff, ESPN's got your back.
And then, yeah, Gonzaga will play number 16 North, I don't know what it is, but or Appalachian State. That's the other playing game.
I'm hoping for another 16 beating a 1.
Yeah. So let's see. So it says number 1 seeds are 139-1 against number 16 seeds. The only win for a 16 seed came in 2018.
Yep, very recently.
When UMBC beat Virginia by 20 points.
It was crazy beat. That was the first time it had ever happened, and it was just a blowout.
Yeah,
crazy.
It wasn't even close.
No.
Yeah. And then UMBC lost in the round of 32. But
yeah.
Still crazy to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's also crazy that like Virginia is like the defending champs because they won it in 2019.
Yeah, they came back with something to prove next year. The next year.
But a lot has changed since then. Virginia isn't even a number 1 seed.
Yeah, that was also technically 2 full seasons ago just because there was no tournament last year.
Yep. Let's see. They're number 4 seed this year, playing number 13 Ohio. I think they'll handle Ohio.
I feel like some of my favorite games to watch in the first round are 4s against 13s because those are always usually pretty good games. They're usually pretty close.
Yeah, basically like 1 through 3 are pretty. Those matchups are pretty dominated by the higher seed.
Right. Yeah, those ones are almost automatic in a way.
8 and 9 are usually pretty competitive.
Yep.
5 and 12.
5 and 12 is fun.
12 has a lot of upsets. I remember that.
6 and 11 is fun too.
Yeah. Number 5 seeds have only won 64.3% of meetings with number 12 seeds.
That's not very high. That's barely more than half.
Yeah. But 2019 marked the third time in the past 7 tournaments that number 12's won 3 of the 4 matchups. So
nice.
So yeah.
That first day is a lot of fun because there's a lot of upsets.
There's just so many games to it. It's so hard to keep track. That's why it's fun to watch on like ESPN or even the NCAA March Madness app. You can have multiple screens of each game going on.
And I forgot what they call it, but they even have a thing that's kind of like the red zone channel in the NFL, where it just bounces from game to game to game, and it goes from like the most intense situation to the next ones. So you watch one channel, but it bounces to all the biggest moments happening in the tournament, and that's always a lot of fun to do as well. I usually opt for the multiple screen 4 or 5 games at once though, because give me the madness.
Yep.
Give me all the madness.
But yeah, so
also speaking of March Madness, we have our own March Madness beginning tomorrow.
Yeah, so anybody want to watch the Wannabes at the Rec Center? They only allow about 25 to 30 people, but
games
our
at 6.
Windsor listeners, games at 6. So
not even just Windsor. If you live in Fort Collins, if you live in Greeley, you want something to do, come watch us play.
Yep.
We're playing against all 3s, no D.
Yep. Which is the player on that is one of Brent's good buddies, so that'll be fun.
Well, he is until we hit the court, and then he's going to be an enemy.
Yep. I'm on the questionable watch list, even though I'm definitely playing. But
Flared rib.
Freaking Nathan.
Yep. But I'm excited, dude.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun because we have our own season going on at the same time as March Madness starts, so we're just going to be in the basketball mood.
Yep. And right during like NBA playoff push too, because we're right after the All-Star break.
Yeah, last night while I was doing some work, I was watching the Lakers Warriors game because the Warriors are 9th seed, so they have a shot at getting in, so they were playing for a lot. Steph Curry's he's so good, he's just a genius. But the Lakers ended up blowing him out, even with 4 of their starters not playing.
Who's all out for them? I know
AD, Marc Gasol, Alex Caruso. Their other big Giannis's younger brother.
Oh, Kustas.
Yeah. And one other guy, but I don't remember who the other guy was. But they were pretty beat up, but still LeBron had a triple-double.
Yeah. Jokic almost did last night.
Mm-hmm. LeBron also only played 30 minutes, though, so it was pretty short triple-double, which was cool.
Yeah. Okay. What upsets do you see happening?
I honestly haven't really looked at the bracket.
Okay.
Usually I go in and I make a bracket and I look at the picks and all that and I do all that, but I just haven't had time this year. So I was just going to kind of go into the tournament and watch the games.
Okay. I don't have any really upsets except for Utah State beating Texas Tech.
What are the seedings on that one?
6 and 11.
Okay. And Utah State's the 11?
Yeah. Utah State is just crazy defending, like a crazy defensive team. They have Nemas Keita. I think I said his first name right, but I know I said his last name right.
Okay.
But he is just a dominant force. He's the main reason why they lost that semifinal. Because when he's in the paint, guarding a big, the guards can just guard they just do like a kind of like a 4-1 basically. They just have Keita in the paint guarding the center, kind of, but he's just kind of guarding the paint, and anytime a guard or forward tries to go in, he usually ends up either blocking the shot or intimidating them to miss an easy layup.
Yeah.
So it's just really hard to score on them. I think they're one of the top I think they were the top defensive team in the Mountain West this year.
Nice. Defense wins games.
Yeah.
And championships.
So that's why I picked them. And also they're just, I hate them because they beat CSU, but they are one of the most fun teams I've watched in a while.
Nice.
They almost won 3 straight Mountain West tournaments. They lost this year to San Diego State, who's a 6th seed, playing at Syracuse. That'll be a fun matchup.
Yeah, it's Kawhi's former team.
Yeah.
That's what I always think of when I think of San Diego State.
But yeah, San Diego State's dominated the Mountain West for probably the last 5 years, basically the whole time they've been in the conference. But they've had some down years, but usually a few years after that they come right back.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've made it to the finals 4 straight years in a row, and then they've lost the previous 2 years to Utah State, and they finally won it this year, getting that 6th seed, playing Syracuse, and that could be another upset, but San Diego State's just too well coached and has a lot of dangerous shooters and defenders that I don't see them losing that game.
Sure. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm really excited for the tournament.
Is it 2 weeks usually?
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
They got the round of 64, round of 32. Round of 64 is 2 days, Friday and Saturday. The round of 32 starts Monday, and then Sweet 16 Wednesday, Elite 8, Final 4. Yeah, it's probably about a week and a half.
Yeah, that sounds right. 10 days or so, 10 or 11 days.
Yeah, it starts on Friday. It'll probably end the following Wednesday, or 10 days after that.
Yep.
I could imagine.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Who do you got in the final game, Cam?
I have Gonzaga and Illinois in my final game.
Oh, nice. So that's a 1 and a 4 seed?
1 and a 1.
Oh, that's right. Illinois was the one on the other side. That's right.
I have Mich.
Come on, Cam. You know it's never a 1 and a 1. It could be a 1 and a 1.
It could be a 1. It was 2 years ago.
Yeah. What was that? Villanova and
Gonzaga. No, Virginia and
Virginia. North Carolina?
No, it was North Carolina. North Carolina was a 2 seed though. So. I have a 2 seed in my Final 4.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I love March Madness because unless I'm rooting for a certain team like USC, I love to see upsets because I just love the Cinderella stories.
Yeah.
Like a couple of years ago, I forgot who it was, but there was a 14 seed that made it really deep. Yes, yeah. Florida Gulf Coast. And they made it to the Final 4 or the Elite 8?
Sweet 16.
Sweet 16? Man, it was...
They won in the round of 64 and round of 32.
And it was crazy.
Yep.
And it was fun to watch, dude.
Yep.
So I love Cinderella stories like
ooping.
that. Yep, a bunch. Yeah. Do you happen to know what the highest seed to ever win was?
No, I think it's a 6 seed. Or it might be 11. I think UConn. Do you remember UConn?
A number 11. Huh.
With Kemba?
Oh, maybe.
I think they
Kemba's a baller.
That's what I think that might be the highest.
I wanted to say like 8 or 9, but you might be right with 11.
Yeah.
So would you call that that would be the lowest seed, right? Not the highest seed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is funny because it sounds backwards, but...
It's not golf is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. The lowest seeded team to ever win the NCAA men's basketball tournament was the 8th seeded Villanova back in 1985. There's also only been one 7 seed champion, one 6 seed champion, and one 4 seed champion.
So 6, 7, and 8 have all done it one time.
Yeah. In 4, no number 5 has ever won it all.
So no number 5 has ever done it, and then no 9 through.
Yeah.
What does it go
9
through?
Through 16.
16. Yeah. I would love to see a double-digit team win it all. That would be so cool. It's never going to happen, but we also said that a 16 was never going to lose to a 1, or was never going to beat a 1, and that finally happened 2 years ago, so you never know.
Yeah.
That's what I love about March Madness, just the chaos. You never know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to remember...
Do you know how they're doing it? So usually they play in 4 different cities.
They're doing the bubble this year in Indianapolis.
So everybody's playing in Indianapolis. Yep. Okay,
yep.
That's cool. We went a couple of years ago because every now and again they'll come to Denver and play at Pepsi Center. It's Ball Arena now. Mm-hmm. So we went a couple of years ago and we saw an upset. We saw number 13 beat a 4.
That's right.
Yeah, Little Rock.
Little Rock, yeah.
Beat Purdue, I want to say.
Because it was the Spiders, right?
Yeah, and that was the game where the guy made the crazy 3-point shot to send it into overtime, and then they won in overtime. Yeah. That was fun to watch.
I'm trying to see what seed UConn was.
Dude, there's so much snow falling off these trees over here. It's all just
down
now.
They were the number 7 team.
Really?
With Kemba.
Okay, nice. Nice, yeah, I'm super excited.
Yeah, that's also why I didn't want to park over there, because I saw that tree branch.
Oh, yeah, as you're talking about it right now, snow is just trickling off.
I didn't want the tree branch to fall on my car.
Yeah, I was also looking for your Corolla, but it wasn't. Yeah. So I was like, "Ooh, is your Corolla kind of stuck?"
It's not really stuck. I didn't know how the roads would be, and Subaru also it's amazing in the snow.
How are like the back roads? Because I went on Harmony yesterday. In my mom's car though, so my car has still just been stuck. And Harmony was like fine because it's a
Yeah,
main road. How are like those kind of back roads?
It's pretty good. 37th Street off of 257 had a few patches of like snow that hadn't melted all the way, but other than that, it was completely fine.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna have a fun adventure today trying to get my car out. It's literally like iced in, and I'm gonna have to go out there and just chisel away at it for a good amount of time before I can even get it loose.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to back out. There's no way I can go forward. Because right in front of my car is like a 4-foot patch of ice snow.
Because that's how my car was when I moved it from the driveway, because I parked it in the driveways. Because I was like, well, if I park it in the driveway, then I don't have to shovel as much. So I did, and then we were like, okay, we can go get something. I was like, my car is still in the driveway.
Yeah.
So luckily, all the snow like slid off the front of my car, so I was able to back up.
Nice.
Pretty well.
Back it up, back it up. Nice. Was there anything else you want to talk about for the tournament?
No.
I'm super excited. Like I said, I haven't looked into it that much this year, unfortunately. Usually I do go through and I'll look at the favorites and I'll make a bracket and all that, but I have not this year. Maybe I'll make a bracket tonight if I have time and stuff, but either way, that doesn't mean I'm any less excited for the tournament. I'm excited to watch the games. It's always great background when you're doing like work or like studying and stuff like that. Although I don't know how much studying really gets done because as soon as the game starts getting close, it's like here's my book and then I'm like fading. Yeah.
Are you playing the Dirty Heads Goonies Never Say Die or the C?
I figured you were going to play the Dirty Heads, but I'm fine either way. You should do the Dirty Heads. You should also show the viewership your tattoo. Once we play the song, though.
Okay.
It's really just my excuse. I just want to see your calf muscle.
You have pretty nice calves.
That's why I want to see it. When I think about calves, I don't think about LeBron James. I think about Cameron Nylander. See what I did there? Say, hey. Also, just so the viewership knows, if we look paler than usual,
it's snowy outside.
It's snowy outside and overcast. Just know that, okay? And I'm sitting right in front of the window, so what do you guys want from me?
I don't know if you guys can see it all that well.
Explain to them what's happening.
Yes. So the song we just played is Sloth's Revenge by Dirty Heads.
Yep.
That is their logo right here.
The Dirty Heads logo, it's the octopus.
Yep. And then it says Goonies Never Say Die around it. So
it's a very cool tattoo. You've had that for at least a couple years now, right?
I got it when I turned 18. So.
Oh, wow, yeah. Oh, you've had it for a long time.
Yeah.
Even longer than I thought you did.
I think it was right after I graduated, actually. So
nice.
Coming up on 5 years.
Isn't that weird to think about?
Yes.
Are you going to go to your 10-year reunion?
Probably.
If COVID's done by then?
Doubt it.
Yeah.
What happened?
Nice. No, you're good. Nice recovery.
Okay.
All right, Cam. So before we get into it, a little bit of background. You've seen Goonies a bunch of times. It's one of
way too many.
Yeah, it's one of your favorite movies. It is kind of the mainstay for one of your favorite bands.
Yep.
I've seen Goonies a couple times when I was younger, but now it has been a long, big amount of time from when I last saw it to watching it last night / this morning. And obviously, I loved it. But I've forgotten a lot of the movie besides like the main plot points.
Yeah.
So Cam, tell me what you think about Goonies, considering how much you love it and how many times you've seen it.
So it's probably my favorite comfort movie. Probably find the most comfort in watching it. Definitely just a classic 80s movie.
Oh, it's so 80s, dude.
Hang on.
1985, I believe, right?
Yeah, 1985, which was a crazy year for movies. Back to the Future, Part 1 came out in 1985.
Yep.
Breakfast Club came out in 1985. Teen Wolf came out in 1985. Those are like the big three.
Yeah, there's a couple more big ones. I'm gonna look up a list real quick.
Clue, I think, came out in 1985, which is that movie that also has Dr. Emmett Brown.
Yeah. You said Breakfast Club, right?
Yep.
After Hours, St.
Never
Elmo's
seen
Fire.
that. Never seen that.
The Witness. Oh, what a great movie, Harrison Ford. I thought there was a Pee-wee's Big Adventure was 1985. I thought there was an Indiana Jones movie in 1985, and I might be wrong. There was Teen Wolf that you were talking about. Day of the Dead. It's a good movie. Big year for movies. Yeah, that's Rocky IV. Love Rocky IV. That's the one about the
Cold War.
Yup.
During the Cold War.
If he dies.
He dies.
He dies.
Oh, in the damn town.
Yeah, dude, tons of good. That's the majority of them right there.
Yep.
Oh, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Okay. Rambo, First Blood Part 2. A lot of big movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me get your opinion on the Fratellis.
On what?
The Fratellis.
Who are the Fratellis?
We're turning the episode off. You watched it this morning, though.
I know. Well, I watched half of it this morning. I watched the other half last night. Are the Fratellis, are they the rich family that are trying to buy everything? That'll make us the richest family and blah, blah, blah. Now you're looking at the richest family and blah, blah, blah. Now sign it. Are the Fratellis the two brothers and the mom?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know who they reminded me of a lot? Was the Wet Bandits from Home Alone.
Yeah.
Just like the way they like interact with each other,
Yeah.
they're like always like bickering and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I liked them a lot. They were hilarious. They were hilarious, but they're also obviously evil.
Yes.
But it was so funny to me. There's a lot of scenes I want to talk about, but it was so funny to me when they're talking to oh my god, I'm so bad with names. Who's the Truffle Shuffle kid? What's his name? Chunk. Chunk. They're talking to Chunk and they're like, spill it. And he's like, okay, I'll talk. In 3rd grade, I cheated on a test. And he starts saying all this stuff and they're just like looking at each other.
Never felt so bad.
Yeah, yeah. And he starts crying so hard, he starts like, yeah.
And then one of the, I forget what brother it is. I think it's the one that breaks out of jail. He's like, I love this kid.
Yeah. When the movie opened, it opens with him breaking out of jail and the mom saving them and stuff. And I was like, how does this tie into the story? I couldn't remember. But those are obviously the bandits that they run into later on in the movie. What do you think about that? What are they, the Fratellis?
The Fratellis.
What do you think about the Fratellis?
I think they're a cool crime family.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
They just fit every like crime kind of family.
Yeah, very
stereotypically
80s crime. Yeah.
Even with that name.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So Italian.
Yeah. See my pepperoni, ma.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I have a question for you. Okay.
Okay.
We've been friends for a lot of years.
Yeah.
Don't think about it. We've been friends for a lot of years, right? Why have we never gone on a treasure hunting adventure? Not once have we.
Because
I'm waiting.
The Goonies got all the treasure from One-Eyed Willie. So there's no point.
We also don't live near an ocean.
Colorado used to be an ocean.
There's probably some treasure up in the Rockies somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
We got to go on a hunt. We got to get our little band together. That was my other question. So I might have missed it in the beginning of the movie, but where does the term Goonies come from?
They just live in like the Goonies.
Okay, I didn't know if there was like a big story behind it. Okay.
That's like what their neighborhood's called.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Dude, did you realize? So you've seen the Indiana Jones movies now, right?
Not The Last Crusade.
Okay.
But the first two, yes.
There was a couple of Indiana Jones references in the movie. First of all, Steven Spielberg wrote this movie. I had no idea. Didn't know that at all. And executive produced it. I didn't know that at all. But in the beginning, when Corey Feldman is turning off the TV, the scene that they're watching is Indiana Jones, and it's the scene that Short Round is in. And Short Round is Data.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's because Data might be my favorite character. That's where we're gonna go next. I want to ask you your favorite characters, but I still call him Short Round just because Indiana Jones is so iconic to my life.
And to your peanuts.
Yeah, slippery shoes. Oh, dude, he's got so many cool stuff. Slick shoes. Okay, Cam, just relax over there. Another like really small Indiana Jones reference was at the end when they're getting the treasure, and it's One-Eyed Willie's balance is booby trapped. And he's like, "Oh, you have to replace the weight." And the guy's like, "How do you know that?" And he's like, "You didn't see the movie?" He's talking about Indiana Jones when he replaces it with the sand. I was like, oh, that's really cool. Really cool.
And they also have to run from Boulder.
Yeah, that's true. It felt like kids Indiana Jones for the second half of the movie for sure, and I loved it.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, so Data is one of my favorite characters. I really like Josh Brolin's character too.
Yeah.
Brand. Yeah. Why does he like to be called that?
It's Brandon.
So it's just okay because his mom calls him his name and he's like, "It's Brand, Ma." Yeah. The Spanish housekeeper is also pretty funny.
Miss Rosalina, I think. It's Miss something. But
Miss Rosa maybe.
No, it's Rosalina. It's not Miss something. It's Mrs. Walsh is the mom.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was getting it mixed up, but it's Rosalina. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who are some of your favorite characters in the movie?
Oh, Mouth is hands down my favorite.
Oh yeah,
I love Mouth.
Yeah, Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
Young little Skrillex. He looks exactly like Skrillex. Yeah. I only knew him from Stand By Me. Forgot he was in this movie.
Yep.
I forgot he was in this movie. I remembered. I forgot that it was Short Round that plays Data, and there was someone else major that Josh Brolin obviously. The main character, what's his name? Sean Astin.
Mm-hmm.
I totally didn't. I never realized until watching it this time that was Sean Astin.
Mm-hmm.
Super cool, like a young little boy, Sean Astin.
Yep.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite scenes from the movie, Cam? Because there's a lot of iconic scenes, great scenes.
There's just so many. It's hard to pick like my favorite. I'd say the piano scene's really intense, but good.
Sure.
The not watering hole, but the pipes is really good. But I was thinking of the where you throw your change.
Oh, the wishing well.
The wishing well. Yeah.
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 He's like, oh, I wish what's the girl's name? The main girl. I'm so bad with names like that.
I'm spacing on it too.
It starts with an A, but I don't remember. Amber?
No.
But he's like, I want to get with blah blah so bad, and he's like, I wish I could get with her, and he throws the coin in, and then it comes right back out, and he's like looking at it, and he's like, what happened? That scene's hilarious.
Well, he says, I haven't gotten with her yet.
Yep.
And I put an emphasis on yet.
Yep. And then he wishes for it and throws the coin in. That girl, whatever her name is, she had one of the funniest lines in the whole movie that made me laugh the hardest. And that's when they first get to like the hut before they even go underground. And Brand shows up and he's like, come on kids, like it's time to go. And then she says, I wrote it down, what'd she say? She says, give him a few more minutes. It can't hurt. You can stay with me. And she's giving him like sexy eyes. And the kids are like, yeah, she knows what she's talking about. Like, listen to her. That made me laugh so hard. Great scene. Andy, okay. I knew it started with an A, I just couldn't remember what it was. Yeah.
Because and then when she sends up his jacket on the bucket,
he
yells, Andy!
Yeah.
You Goonies!
Yeah, definitely. I liked that they all kind of came together, the two girls, Andy and her friend.
I think it's Steph, I think is her name.
That one I don't remember at all. But that was cool how they came in, like the older kids with the younger kids, and they all looked for the treasure together.
It is Steph.
Steph, nice. That's my mom's name.
Yep.
Yeah.
But she spells it S-T-E-F.
Which is actually kind of funny because my mom probably would have been about that age in 1985. She graduated high school in 1984.
Yeah, they were 16 and 17.
Yeah, so she would have been right around
Josh
that age.
Brolin was 16 in that movie.
It's crazy. So if you think about this, so Josh Brolin plays Thanos, if you guys didn't know that.
And a character in Deadpool, too. I can't remember what his character's name.
And he's one of the main guys in No Country for Old Men, which is one of my favorite movies. But if you think about it, so he played Thanos in 2018? 2019.
Well, yeah, he played him, but Thanos was a thing back in the end of different movies. But
but we're just talking about just like his main character arc, right? Yeah, that's right. 2? Guardians 2? Guardians 1? I have to watch those movies again. But think about how long ago he was in Goonies compared to this movie.
Yeah.
So he's old when he plays Thanos. He's got to be at least 60, right?
Yeah, because if he was 16 in 85...
You know what's easier than doing math?
2019, so that's 34 years. So
how old is Josh Brolin?
16, 2019.
He's 53.
50 years old
53.
in 2019.
Crazy. And he does a great job playing Thanos, obviously.
Yep.
But yeah, this movie has a great cast.
Yes.
There was one other person that I saw on IMDb that I was like, I didn't realize that they were in this movie. Besides, obviously, Sean Astin and Corey Feldman. Let me see real quick. This movie also has a meta score of 62, which is just robbery. Robbery.
Yeah.
That's why Metascore is stupid. Metacritic sucks. For movies and for video games, I don't trust Metacritic at all. Okay.
Huh.
What's up?
So, Chunk's mom in the movie is his actual mom in real life.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Okay, yeah. Stuff, data, sloth. Who is the other guy? This guy. What else is this guy in?
I don't know.
The guy that played Francis, one of the brothers,
Mm-hmm.
is the main character. Well, he's in a lot of great movies, but he played the main character in Memento. He played a character called Cypher in The Matrix. That's who I was thinking of. He played not a main character, but a big character in both Bad Boys movies, which are great. That might be it. But I saw him and I was like, I recognize him. Obviously, he looks way younger, but I recognize that guy, and that's who it was.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, you said you've only seen it a few times.
Yes.
And it had been a while.
It had been a lot. It had been at least minimum, probably 4 or 5 years.
Right.
Like minimum.
Okay. What was one scene that, like, stuck out to you that you didn't remember since the last time you watched it?
It's a really small moment, but it might be my favorite moment from the movie. But it's when Sloth comes in to save them at the end. I remembered, hey, you guys!
Mm-hmm.
I remember that because that's iconic.
Mm-hmm.
But when he comes in and he starts beating up the brothers, he rips his shirt off and he's wearing a Superman shirt underneath.
Oh, yeah.
And the Superman theme song plays for a
Mm-hmm.
second. I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So that scene definitely stuck out to me.
That scene also gets kind of sad when he's talking to his mom. She's singing him, like, the lullaby.
It's so dark.
And he's like, drop!
Yeah.
Drop! I might have only dropped you twice.
She's like, I only dropped you once. Okay, well, it was more than that, but I still love you.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so that's why he's so deformed.
Mm-hmm.
It was really dark.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Because the rest of the movie is so just lighthearted and easy. But yeah, she says London Bridge is falling down or something. He's like, falling, drop. And I was like, what? Oh, the mom!
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking.
Yep.
It's rough.
I don't know. I mean, it is lighthearted, but there's, like, this article that looks at it as being, like, kind of a horror film.
How so?
It has a lot to do with, like, took a lot of inspiration from It.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Did it though? Yeah.
They go down, try to find treasure.
That's
go
true. They
down
are
with the
underground,
water.
and that's where and it is a bunch of kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
There's, like, a whole article that looks at how it can be. It's not considered one, but, like, if you look at certain aspects, it could
Mhm.
be. Because there's skeletons, there's death.
Yeah, they do find dead bodies. Plus,
Mhm.
the first thing you see in the movie is a guy hanging himself. I know he
Mhm.
doesn't actually, but that's the
Yeah.
very first thing you see.
And then burning stuff.
Yeah, they find the dead body in the pantry
Yeah.
when, I can't remember. Crunch.
Chunk.
Chunk. Crunch. I have to watch.
I haven't watched it in probably 6 months.
Yeah, but
We
you've seen
watched
it so many
yeah.
times. Here's the thing: is like if I'm gonna remember, I'm really bad with names in movies because it's like 2 hours. You have to get in and know the characters. Books are easier because you hear the names so many more times. So that's why usually when I'm talking about a movie, I'll say the actor name because I know that better than the character name.
Mm.
So I'll be like, oh, Leo's character, or I'll be like, oh, Josh Brolin's character,
Mhm.
just because I know the name more.
Yeah.
But if I watched Goonies a couple more times, then I would have it locked down.
Yeah. Also, Troy was like a typical 80s villain.
Oh,
in the
100%. Yeah.
Like,
I got major Karate Kid vibes.
movie. Yeah, just rich dad,
Mm-hmm.
relies on his dad to fight his battles.
Yep.
Doesn't think anything that he does is creepy. That scene is very creepy when he's like trying to take a look at
Yeah,
Andy.
and she totally notices
yeah,
too.
and he just laughs it off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
creepy.
And then
Very
he,
creepy.
Then he throws Bran off a cliff.
Yeah, I was like, that's a
Yeah.
big cliff, dude. It's
And
massive.
then you see him again, and he's just got a little bit of dirt
He's
on
like
his face.
fine. He's
Yeah.
totally fine. Have you ever seen the movie Hot Rod?
Yes.
I wanted to. I know because like this movie's. I'd call it a comedy.
Yeah.
Would you call it a comedy?
Yeah.
Hot Rod is definitely a comedy, right? But there's a scene in Hot Rod where he's falling down the cliff and he's just falling for like 5 minutes, and that scene popped into my head when he went flying off on the bike, and I just couldn't stop laughing.
The scenes with Mouth and Rosalina
Mm-hmm.
are really funny when
So
he's like
funny.
telling her to like put the drugs in like the top
Yeah.
cat, like,
Yeah, the heroin and the
Yeah.
cocaine and everything, the
Mhm.
marijuana.
Mhm.
Yeah. And she's just like confused. Yeah.
and cockroaches too.
Yeah,
You get the
yeah.
cockroaches. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. Have you ever seen Stand By Me?
Oh yeah, I love
Yeah.
that movie.
He
That's Will Wheaton.
really
Yeah.
is it really?
Mhm.
That's cool.
You
But-
know who Will Wheaton is?
Yeah, the guy from he's related to the MCU, but I forgot how. I'm thinking of Josh Whedon.
Yes.
Who's Will Wheaton?
He is Josh Wheaton's brother.
Is he really?
Yeah.
So I was close.
Yeah. He's in Star Trek.
Oh,
He played
okay,
the young
gotcha.
kid in Star
Okay.
Trek, and he plays the main kid in Stand By Me that holds the gun up.
I got you. That's cool. I also forget that's
He's also in Big Bang Theory.
Yes,
He plays
that's
himself.
that's how I knew him from, but I forgot how because he writes stuff for Star Trek too and stuff, right? Or is he just an actor in it?
He's an actor in it.
But I remember they meet him in one of the episodes, and Sheldon is all like freaking, "Oh my god, that's
Yeah,
Will."
well, he likes Will Wheaton because he's in Star Trek, but he hates what he does to win and stuff. And then yes, he's a definitely recurring character. So
Okay.
it's like a love-hate relationship.
Okay.
They hated each other at first, and then Wheaton apologizes, and they're like best friends. And then Will Wheaton takes a job from Sheldon because Sheldon wants to be like a professor,
Mm-hmm.
but it's an acting role,
Mm.
and Sheldon's not an actor, and Will
Right.
Wheaton is. So he gets the role, and that's when they start hating each other again.
Okay, that's literally the only reason I knew his name was because of Big Bang Theory. I just couldn't remember. I knew it was some big nerd thing. I didn't remember.
Yeah.
I thought it was MCU, but I guess that
Yeah.
makes sense if it's
Yeah.
Star Trek, considering they're all physicists.
Actually, I don't think Josh Whedon is Will Wheaton's brother because Josh Whedon is Whedon and Will Wheaton is Wheaton.
Oh, so they're not related?
I don't think so.
So I wasn't close.
No,
Damn it.
I was way off too.
Yeah, I haven't watched Big Bang Theory since it was first on and everything. I just remember him being on that show.
Yeah.
But that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say about Stand By Me is Corey Feldman plays basically the same character in this movie as he does in that movie, just a little mouthier.
Mhm.
Pun not intended, kind of intended.
Um,
But I think I like him better in this movie
Your
just
voice is
because.
kind of nice when your mouth isn't messy.
Yeah, that was
Screwing
such
it up.
that was such a
Mhm.
great line. I was like, get him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great line. But he's just so much fun in this movie.
Yeah.
And then, in Stand By Me, he's kind of a jerk. Like he doesn't really play a
Yeah.
funny kid like he does in this movie.
Yeah.
So I
Spoiler
like that-
alert: is
yeah.
he the one that dies on the train tracks, or is that the bigger kid?
None of the kids die. They die later on in their lives, but they don't die in the movie.
I thought somebody dies on the train tracks.
No, so they find a body.
Well, I know that.
Yeah, and then on the train tracks, they're running from the train, and none of the kids die, but they all almost die. And then at the
Oh.
end of the movie, once again, that's a Stephen King book, by the way. Such a good,
Stand By Me.
yeah, Stephen King book.
Oh, I
Mhm.
didn't know that.
And then later on, I forgot the main. It's been a long time since I've seen it or read it, but the main character is talking about how the other characters die when they get older.
I see.
And I think Corey Feldman character, maybe it's Will Wheaton's character, but one of them gets in a bar fight and gets stabbed. And that's like a pretty intense scene, but you don't see it. He's just talking about how it happened. You don't see any of the kids die.
Okay. I've seen that. It's probably how you are with the Goonies.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen it, but I haven't
Yeah.
seen it in a while.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while either, but I just remember it. Like I read the book, so I think you
Mm.
retain that information better. But yeah, that's another Stephen King story that only gets better as it goes. No, yeah, inside joke. It's fine, ladies and gentlemen. It's fine. But yeah, so it's funny because I don't know Corey Feldman from anything else besides Stand By Me and the Goonies, which probably came out.
You haven't seen the Lost Boys?
Haven't seen The Lost Boys.
It's an awesome movie. That's also Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh, is it really? That's
and,
cool.
And the Coreys.
The Coreys.
Mm-hmm. Corey Feldman and Corey Corey something. One of them's dead now. Corey Feldman's still alive. The other Corey's dead.
Yeah, but what I was saying is the only thing I know Corey Feldman from, ironically enough, is Stand By Me and the Goonies, and I bet you those movies came out no more than like 2 or 3 years apart from
Corey
each other.
Haim.
I don't know who that is. I don't think.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. Do you know if Corey Feldman has done anything like major since those 2 movies?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I only recognize him from those 2, and I bet you Stand By Me was like 84.
Yeah, he did The Lost Boys, which was 1987,
Mhm.
Goonies, 1985, Stand By Me, 1986, The
86.
Gremlins, 1984.
He was in the Gremlins.
Yeah.
Oh, there's also a Gremlins reference in the movie. Because they're talking, one of the guys, it keeps coming up about how Chunk is like the boy who cried wolf, right? Like he's got all these
Yeah.
stories. and I think it might be the police officer, and he's like, you can't be telling the truth. You told me all these fake stories like about all those little things that turn evil when you pour water on them.
Oh,
I was like,
right.
that's a Gremlins
That's
reference.
Right. Yeah.
Super cool, dude. Is that an '80s movie? Gremlins.
94.
We should do Gremlins.
Okay.
We should also do Karate Kid.
Yes.
Our '80s list is going to be massive.
Yep.
It keeps getting bigger every week by a lot.
Then yeah, he was also in License to Drive 1988, Dream a Little Dream 19. So he did a lot of 80s movies.
Gotcha.
He did The Lost Boys, The Thirst and Lost Boys, The Tribe. So I guess those were like spin-off stuff.
I've heard of The Lost Boys, but I've definitely never seen it.
That's one of my favorite 80s movies. I love it.
Is that about they get lost on an island or something? It's called The Lost Boys, so I was just guessing.
You were way off. Swing and a miss.
What's it about?
Vampires.
Oh. Vampires on an island?
In a sense.
Okay, see, I know what I'm talking about.
It's a beach. They're on a pier.
Okay, alright. Sure. So are the kids the vampires? Or they just interact with vampires?
Vampire hunters.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
badass.
vampire hunters.
That's
Corey Feldman
badass.
and Corey Haim are vampire hunters.
That's badass. They're like the main two characters?
Yeah, Corey Haim, his I forgot his character name already. I was just looking at it.
You're giving me shit.
His brother turned into a vampire. His name's Sam.
Spoilers.
It happens in the first 10 minutes.
Oh, then we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen that. What was the other movie you gave me shit for? Oh, Teen Wolf. I've never seen Teen Wolf.
Yeah. That's Michael J. Fox.
Mm-hmm. I've seen clips because that is like an iconic movie. But
It's
I've
also
never
in
seen
like
the
How I
movie.
Met Your Mother, like a reference to when Marshall becomes the basketball coach at Lily's elementary school, and they're like getting blown out. He's like, "Come on, Kenny." Kenny's like the ref, and he's like, "They literally got a wolf out there," and it's the team.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh yeah, because in the movie, isn't he like a really good basketball player
Yeah.
because he's
he's
a
a
teen wolf?
he's a terrible basketball player, and then he turns into a werewolf.
Okay,
And then he changes while he's playing, and
he's awesome.
yeah, because genetic mutation makes him jump and run and
Nice.
faster, everything. So.
God, I wish I could do that for our basketball season. Cam,
Mhm.
be dunking on everybody. I think that's everything I wrote down for the
Okay.
Goonies, just because I know you've seen it a bunch of times. So I was just gonna kind of see where you wanted to go. But yeah, like I literally wrote down too many funny lines to write down.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great lines.
Yeah,
That's why I'd probably call this movie a comedy.
Yeah, I think it's a adventure comedy.
Adventure comedy, that's probably exactly what, yeah. And I loved just being a massive Indiana Jones fan, who's obviously, that's Steven Spielberg's movies, that you can totally tell that there's influences from Indiana Jones, and it's basically Indiana Jones Jr. in a great way. I loved all of Data's traps.
Yes.
Amazing. So good. They do the booby traps, that's what I said, like 3 different times in the movie, which is hilarious. Because they say it in the first couple of minutes.
Yep.
And then they just keep going through.
I guess kind of in the first. Yeah.
Yeah,
When they go down there.
Well, they say it even
that.
earlier in the house, in the attic, when they're looking at all the stuff. The main kid, I don't remember his name, but Sean Astin, he says it because he keeps saying things wrong, and his brother keeps correcting him, Mikey, and then his brother Bran keeps Game of Thrones. His brother Bran keeps saying, like, correcting him, and he's like, "That's what I said." Yeah, yeah. So he says booby traps, and then he's like, "That's what I said," and I was like, "Oh, weird. I thought Data said that." And well, later on, Data does end up saying that.
I don't think you remember that scene right. Because Data's the only one that says that.
Bro, don't make me prove you wrong, Cam.
Okay.
Don't make me do it. So what happens is, right? This is the one thing I do remember from watching it this morning. So, because that's just an iconic line. Whenever you tell someone about the Goonies, they're like, booby traps. I said so obviously Data says it later on in the movie. But yeah, earlier I'll play it. I'll play it into the mic. That's what I said, booby traps. And then the mom says something too. I forgot what she says, and then Bran corrects her. She's like, "That's exactly what I said." It sounds like, oh, it's like Hereditary. That's pretty cool. There was a lot of like callback jokes to earlier in the movie, which I really appreciated.
What is that? Oh shit! What? When they break like the penis off the statue.
Yeah, that's my mom's favorite part. Yeah.
Also, did you know One-Eyed Willie is like a innuendo?
Oh, I didn't even realize that until you said. This movie's hilarious, dude. Come on now.
It's like a badass name for a pirate, but it's hard not to chuckle at it.
I literally that went directly over my head, but now that you've said that, it's right here somewhere. Video people, stick with us for just a second because we're probably going to edit this out of the podcast part.
I can try and video it.
Yeah, I'll just cut it out. Sorry, video people, just stick with us for a minute. Also, they have a bunch of cool stuff in that attic.
Mm-hmm.
The kid that plays Chunk, did he go on to do other movies and stuff?
I don't think so.
What are you doing? Hey, my friend, the map. Hey, look. That says 1632. Is that a year something? No, it's top square on yes, it's a year.
Oh, that was another funny line too when he goes, I forgot who he said, but he finds the coin and he's like, oh, it's this actor. I'm like, no, you idiot, it's the president. And he's like, whatever, he played him in a movie. So funny.
What's all that Spanish junk right there? Who knows, the mouth, you said you could translate. Translate, right here. Yeah, translate. Ye intruders beware. Crushing death and grief. Soaked with blood of
What's up?
trespassing feet.
Guys, this map is old news. Everybody and their grandfather went looking for that.
It also made me laugh at the end of the movie when Data says something in Chinese and they translate it, but it's just Chinese characters. You don't remember that part? It's like literally like a split second, and he's like, when they see the ship at the end, like sailing away, everybody's like, "Oh my god!" And then Data says something in Chinese, and then I think it's like an inside joke because the subtitles are also Chinese. God, look at young Sean Astin. What a baller, dude.
You were not in the right pocket.
This is the part I was talking about when they're in the attic. I might be remembering it wrong, but he says something about booby traps. There's like times that I look at him that I'm like, you can see Sean Astin in his face, but he's also so young that there's times that I don't see the resemblance at all.
Sound just as corny as Dad does.
My dad tells me the truth. You know what he said? He told me the one-eyed Willie and his bunch were down there for 5-6 years. And they were digging all these tunnels and caves, setting booty traps. Booby traps.
Right there,
But
setting
Data
booty
corrects
traps.
him.
Like anybody that tried to
Data
get him would die.
corrects him.
And then you know what he did? He
Oh, okay.
That's why I wasn't remembering. it.
Okay, so we were both kind of right. Yeah. So Data, because before that it was his brother correcting him the whole time. But so that there's like 3 different times where the booby traps, and they call it different things throughout the movie. That makes it even funnier than when Data says it, and he's like, "That's what I said, booby trap." That makes it even funnier later in the movie. It's a great movie. A lot of callback jokes to earlier on. Super good.
Steven Spielberg for you.
Yep, 100%. And then it's funny because the director has not directed a lot of other super famous movies. Because I saw Steven Spielberg executive producer / writer, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." And then the director popped up, and I was like, I'm not familiar with him. I wonder what he's done. And it's a lot of random movies that I've never seen that aren't super
Richard
big.
Donner.
Is his name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Chris Columbus did the screenplay.
Discovered America.
No, never did.
No, he did not.
Never
A lot of people think he did, but
never even set foot in America.
people don't know. The kids don't know, Cam.
When we went to Nassau in the Bahamas
Mhm.
for our cruise, they had a whole section on like all that Christopher Columbus did in the Bahamas, all
Really?
of his massacres and everything.
Crazy. White settlers, dude.
Yeah, Richard Donner was the director. He directed Superman,
Yeah, like the 1984 Superman or whatever.
1978.
Yeah, that one's like supposed to be pretty bad though.
Yeah.
From what I've never seen it.
Lethal
I don't think
Weapon
it's super.
too.
Oh, the Lethal Weapon movies are good. I actually have seen those.
Yeah. Other than that, Maverick,
Mm-mm.
Sting.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot of
all-
80s movies.
Basically all Lethal Weapon. Scrooged. He directed Scrooged. The Bill Murray.
Never seen it.
You never seen Scrooged?
No.
Mm.
Scrooge, is that like the Christmas?
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know Bill Murray did that movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, he did a lot of the Supermans from the 80s.
Mm.
He did Superman and Superman 2.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So he kind of peaked in the 80s and then kind of disappeared after
Yep.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. But I mean, he directed this movie great.
Mm-hmm.
The whole movie's really good. Definitely even better. I knew it was really good. It's so iconic, but it was even better than I
Yeah.
remembered it being. That's what I love. Like, this is a cool 80s segment because there's a lot of 80s movies like this one that I know I've seen, but it's been a long time where I forget so many details.
So there's this, I wouldn't say it like extended version, but this scene was not put in the DVD release.
Okay.
Only theatrical release. So it's very hard to find because it's not on like DVDs or anything.
Okay.
You know when Data says the octopus was very scary in the end? When he's talking to the reporters?
I don't remember that, but
Okay.
sure.
But yeah, he says the octopus was very scary and all the reporters go like, octopus? Do you
Mhm.
remember that? No?
No. I watched it on Amazon Prime, so maybe it's not in that version.
No, it's on every version.
Is it? Okay.
But the scene, why he says the octopus, is because in the theatrical version, they fought off an octopus.
Really?
Yeah, after they set off the booby trap to like explode the ship and everything and get the rocks out of there. and
Booby trap?
everything.
Mm-hmm.
An octopus comes out and they have to fight it off before they leave.
Why'd they take that out of the movie?
It looks terrible.
Does it?
Yeah.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
So is that why the octopus is the main thing for the Dirty
Dirty
Heads?
Heads, that's one of the main reasons, yeah.
That's
Because
pretty
because the Sloth's Revenge song came out on their acoustic album, Phantoms of Summer,
Mm-hmm.
and the like lady on it is an octopus, and I think that's when they switched it. Because
Okay.
their logo had never really been an octopus until Phantoms of Summer. So,
Oh, nice.
Yep.
What's happening? Someone stealing your car?
my back.
Oh, I was like, what are you looking at? Yeah. What else did you want to talk about for Goonies, Cameron?
That was probably the last thing.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people know about that. I didn't know about that until my tattoo artist, who just followed us on Instagram, by the way.
Followed Coffee Contemplation?
Mhm.
Wow, that's really cool.
He's Dave's Ink Therapy.
Nice.
I think is what his username is. But
Is he in Fort Collins?
Yes, he
Nice.
is. He gave me, but yeah, he did my tattoo, and he didn't know it was a Dirty Heads tattoo, because I sent him the sketch of it, and he saw the Goonies Never Say Die and the octopus. He's like, "Oh wow, you know about the octopus, huh?" And I was like,
Oh.
what?
You're like, you know about the octopus?
Like, what
Yeah.
do you mean? He's like, the scene from Goonies. I was like, oh no, that's like my band's, like my favorite band's logo, and then that's like, they use that in one of their songs. I was like, oh, that's cool. Not a lot of people know this, but yeah, there was an octopus that they had to fight off, and that's why Data says that. And
That's cool.
when he's talking to the press, so I was like, oh, cool.
That's really cool. Yeah, I had no idea. Yeah, that's really cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so video people, this is where we leave you. If you enjoyed this episode and you have not yet subscribed, you can subscribe over here. And if you want to watch our most recent upload, it is right here. So thank you for watching and listening, and have a good week.
Bye, video people. Stay sexy out there. Bye.